Right. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us for tonight's Get That Job program, Career Resources with Jordan Neal. We will get started in just a moment, but I first want to go over a couple of details about Zoom and the library and let you know that we are recording today's webinar. The recording will be available on YouTube later on, and probably usually a week or so, I think, for our turnaround time there. So if you'd like to watch it at a later date and time, you certainly can as well. And then I want to go ahead and mention that my name is Susan. I am Susan Winkler. I am our technology librarian here at the Champaign Public Library, and I'll be hosting today. And I do want to mention a couple of things about Zoom and library services. So first thing I want to mention is, in case this is their first time in Zoom or you'd like a refresher, down in the bottom left-hand corner, you do have your mute or speaker button. If you do want to ask a question out loud, and we do ask that you hold your questions out loud for the end, and then we will unmute you. You can raise your hand, which is one of the 3 icons in the middle of your screen. And then if you raise your hand, we'll unmute you so that you can ask your question out loud. We would like you to hold those off until the end if you can. But if you'd like to ask questions throughout, there is also a chat bubble. It looks like a little comment bubble. And you can use the chat to go ahead and ask any questions. And I will go ahead and relay them to Jordan. If you'd like her to cover anything a second time, feel free to put that in the chat as well. And we'll get to that. And then the third icon that's down there is a little CC in a little square, and that is for live transcription. So if you'd like to have closed captions while we are doing our presentation tonight, you certainly can. You just have to hit that CC and then say enable live transcription. If it's on and you don't want it on, you can also tap on it and say hide subtitles, and then that will hide that for you. All right. Okay, information about the library. We are open. We do have Book a Librarian appointments that you can do, which are one-on-one consultations with one of our staff members. You can get there by going to champaign.org/bookalibrarian. We do also have live chat options while the library is open. And of course, you can always reach out to us via email at librarian@champaign.org, or I believe Jordan will share her information here in a little bit as well, and you can reach out to her directly too. And if we have any updates on library services or programs, we do put that on our website, which is champaign.org.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning, welcome to Career Resources at the Library. This will be taught by Jordan Neal, our career librarian. Jordan is an excellent staff member here at the library. You may also see her working at the Ask Here desk on the 2nd floor or on the 1st floor at the Ask Here desk. And she coordinates all of our career programming here at the library. How are you doing tonight, Jordan?
I'm well. How are you?
Not too bad. Would you like to go ahead and get us started?
Sure. And Susan, you're an excellent host, hence why I asked you to host many times.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started once again. As Susan mentioned, this is Career Resources at the Library. So the library has a diverse array of online resources that you can access with your Champaign Public Library card or a virtual library card. In previous webinars, career webinars, and I believe in technology webinars as well, we mention these resources a lot, but we provide an overview. So for this webinar, we're going to just share some more details. So for these online resources, I will go over, I'll talk about each of them briefly, and then we'll go over just basic navigation and connecting with content, and then we'll tie it back to how these resources can maybe serve you during your, with your job or career related goals. Especially with this current situation, online resources can be really helpful. So I'm hoping that you will learn how to connect with these tools, and perhaps you can explore on your own after the webinar as well. So for today's topics, I will first just discuss career services in general here at the Champaign Public Library and what that all entails. And then I'll discuss those online resources with a live demonstration after this presentation. I wanted to mention that the library does provide even more online resources besides the ones that we'll talk about today, but we invite you again to explore after this webinar by visiting champaign.org, and I will show you how to get to those in just a moment. But first, I wanted to briefly mention just career services here at the library. We are here to help you, with your job or career-related requests the best that we can. This involves our workshops and our webinars. They cover topics like resumes, cover letters, interview basics, things like that. We also offer one-on-one appointments. Prior to this whole situation, we would sit down with customers and help them per their situation with applying for jobs, resume assistance, and practice interviews, and whatever else we can do to help you with your professional journey. We also try our best to customize our services to best serve someone's situation. So, but because of the current situation, we are encouraging people to meet virtually. So sometimes that would be through Zoom, through Skype, or any platform that you're comfortable with. We usually just end up sending a link to your email. You would just click on that link, and then we would have our Zoom session. So whatever help you would need, we'll try our best to fulfill that need. And then here at the library, we are open, as Susan mentioned. So if you do need some quick help with a job application or resume review, something like that, we are here in person, but it might best serve you to meet virtually. And then finally, we do have our online tools, which I'll talk about right now. So discussing our online resources just starts with a discussion on where you can find them, of course, on our website. And I'll be sure to show you during our live demonstration as well. So we refer to our online content as our e-library. Our website is champaign.org, which I think Susan just put in the chat there. Thank you, Susan. But you could also start by visiting champaign.org/e-library to get to all of our online resources. Or you, of course, could just go to champaign.org and then click on e-library. And I have an image here that's from the homepage of our website. This will then show you 3 different pages on our website. So there's ebooks by collection, and then ebooks by device, and then online tools. So the first 2 ebook pages involves our online resources that allow you to download or stream content such as ebooks and audiobooks or movies. And our technology librarian, Susan, presents really great webinars on our downloadable and streaming services. So we invite you to check out those webinars if you can. I think there's also the recordings on the YouTube channel, as Susan also mentioned. But in the meantime, we're going to focus on that 3rd page, which is online tools. And that's where you'll find the resources that I'm going to discuss today. And like I said, we will be sure to show you during the live demonstration. So the career resources I'll discuss today will hopefully help you with a number of job-related tasks. So for example, if you want to learn how to craft or revise your cover letter or your resume, we have resources that provide courses and examples and templates. Here at the library, we help people with a variety of job-related requests or career-related requests. But resumes and cover letters are something we help out with a lot here at the library. These same resources provide information on professional development, such as mastering your public speaking or just work culture in general. In career services, we sometimes have people ask about enhancing their tech skills as well, or trying to expand their professional network. So these resources could possibly help with the business and tech side of things, but we also offer business and technology services here at the library. So if you're starting or maintaining a business or trying to enhance those tech skills, we have dedicated business and technology librarian and those services as well. And they also provide one-on-one help too, because we know there's certainly an overlap with a lot of these services. So these resources do provide a lot of examples and templates. That's something a lot of people ask us about as well. We really encourage people to try to start from scratch and really make it your own, but we also know the reality of when it comes to trying to get that document submitted. So these resources have that as well. And then finally, as we mentioned earlier, to access these resources, you would need a Champaign Public Library card. However, you can also access using a virtual library card if you have yet to visit the library. And then you would sign up for the virtual card, you would just sign up online and you would access these resources instantly. And I should mention, if you do sign up online and you do live in Champaign, you can eventually what's the word I'm looking for, Susan? You could graduate to a full access card as well if you come into the library.
Yeah, full access card.
So any questions so far? We're going to just jump right in and talk about them, and feel free. I'll try to leave time for questions. I'll stop for questions, but if you have any, feel free to type them into the chat or raise your hand and we can let you speak too. So here are the resources we are going to focus on for today, which is going to be Gale Courses, Job Now, LinkedIn Learning, and Peterson's Test Prep. I'm going to just share an overview here in this presentation, and of course we'll talk about it in depth a little bit later. So the first here is Gale Courses, and it's exactly that. It's courses that are offered for 6 weeks at a time. It's self-paced, self-directed. It offers courses on resumes, professional development courses such as, like I said, mastering public speaking. It also focuses on technical courses like Microsoft products. If you're familiar with the online learning environment where you would take assessments or use a discussion forum, it's a lot like that. I always share, I've taken a lot of courses. I've taken mastering public speaking. I really enjoyed it. A lot of my colleagues have taken Photoshop courses. Library customers have connected with some of the technical courses like Excel, Microsoft Excel or Word. And it's just a great resource if you want to enhance your skills in any way. We offer Job Now, which we frequently use here in career services at the library. So Job Now can provide resume and cover letter templates. It has great career assessments on there. It has a great live chat feature for career or job related questions, especially about cover letters and resume content. One of the biggest takeaways for us here at the library is Job Now offers a service where someone can upload their cover letter or their resume to their resume lab, and an expert will review your resume and then provide feedback for your resume or your cover letter 1 to 2 business days after you submit your document. So it's been a very helpful service. I've used it myself for my own resume, but that's also an option. We have LinkedIn Learning, which provides video-based courses on anything from computer basics to designer software help like Adobe products, things like that. In career services, we use it to connect people with, again, the cover letter, the resume, and overall professional development courses. It also includes supplemental material such as templates and examples that you could use after you've watched the course. Yeah, it's a very helpful resource. And again, we'll go over all of these through a live demonstration later. And then finally, we have Peterson's Test Prep. This is actually a somewhat new name for this resource. We've had it before at the library. It used to be called Testing and Education Reference Center, but now it's Peterson's Test Prep. But yeah, it has a lot of people are familiar with the practice test portion of this. And so for me, I also mention frequently that I'm also a registered nurse as well. So when I took my state licensing exams, I definitely use this resource for practice tests. But it has practice tests that that include GRE, MCAT. It has tests for if you're taking a U.S. citizenship test, they have all types of practice tests for that. But also, just like the Job Now resource I mentioned, this resource also offers great career development tools, career assessments, interview assistance content. They have a really great virtual career library that offers modules or tutorials that focus on, anything from career changes to resume help to the job search. And then this resource also has a really great resume builder where you can just fill out the field's job application style, and then it will export that resume for you. So you can focus more on your content and your experience as opposed to the formatting piece of a resume, which I know is a whole other category when it comes to working on your resume. And then they also recently added a career journal feature where you can enter and track any career or professional progress or any accomplishments, where you can overall reflect on when you're advancing towards any goals, or say if you're working on your resume or you're about to have an interview, or when any opportunity presents itself. So for this career journal, you can add anything related to any new skills you've learned, any new responsibilities, any accomplishments, like I said, especially if those are they are measurable or quantifiable, you might really want to write those down. Here at the library, we not only help with resumes and cover letters and things like that, but we are also encouraging people to save records like this anyway, something separate from your resume, but just kind of a document that has all of your professional highlights, just kind of your overall histories. I don't know about you, but I can't remember my entire professional history. So I do have a document where I have all of those written down, and not just to help me if I'm applying for a job and need it for a resume, but it's just kind of like a confidence or morale booster that I'll review all those, especially the positive comments. Like sometimes I'll pull them from evaluations, and it's just a feel good resource, and it's just good to have that history saved. Any questions so far? Okay.
No questions so far.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and just take a look at some of these resources. I'm going to stop sharing this for a minute and minimize this. So for now, I'm going to turn off my video just for a little bit while we go over these so you can focus what's on the screen. Okay, so you should be able to see the homepage of our website. Do you see that, Susan?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so like I said earlier, to connect with our e-library or our online resources, you would first visit our website, champaign.org. And I will mention this is from a browser experience. I'm not using this on you can use it on a device, but right now this is not the mobile experience. This is from a desktop. But we're going to navigate to e-library here on our page. I'm near the top center of our screen under e-library here in the blue banner. And like I said before, in addition to the resources I'll discuss today, the library has ebooks. And so if you click on e-library, I'll do that right now. But we do have ebooks for on our downloadable collections where you can access materials on a computer or device like an iPad or a Kindle or just a computer. So to access that information, you would click on the first two links you see here. So it'd be ebooks by collection or ebooks by device. Sometimes community members approach us because they're interested in a certain format or a collection, like ebooks or audiobooks only. So they would click on ebooks by collection. And then sometimes we have people approach us because they want any content they can access on their particular device. So then we would suggest to them maybe they click on ebooks by device. And once Susan, the technology librarian, does host workshops and webinars on these downloadable and streaming services. So again, please feel free to attend those webinars or watch the recordings on our YouTube channel. But for now, we're going to click on the third option, which is online tools. So to get to our first resource, Gale Courses, this is where you would go. I will mention that there are a number of ways to get to some of these online resources. So I'm just going to show you one way of getting there. On the left-hand side here, we have this filtering option, or it says under categories here. And you can just filter by category. And I should also mention that some of our online resources do fall into multiple categories. So for today, we are going to focus on the career category to get to the resources I will discuss. So we're going to go ahead and click on business and career, and then we're going to click on career. And the Gale Courses is the first one listed here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on use Gale Courses to get to our first resource here. And like I said, Gale Courses is that resource that provides the 6 weeks of self-directed courses. They have over 300, I think now, Susan, course offerings that cover anything, again, from Microsoft products, resume courses, language courses, things like that. And for career services, they do have a lot of offerings when it comes to professional development. And again, it's an opportunity to interact with students and instructors and have a great discussion on there. So this is what the landing, go ahead.
I think they're up to 375 plus, is I believe what their advertisement says.
I always try to be safe and just say over 300, but good for them. So here this is what the landing page looks like. And this will be the first page you see when you get to Gale Courses. And the first thing I wanted to mention is this area to the left here. I am going to close out of the chat so I cannot distract myself here. And this is just, again, different categories on how you can search for. They have listed courses in a variety of ways here in Gale Courses. So you can see course categories here to the left. I don't know if you can see it: accounting, finance, business, computer applications, things like that. You can also sort by featured or popular or new courses. I don't think we have anything featured at the moment. Or popular courses. I do, yeah, and then they'll have the listings here to the right. But yeah, a lot of my colleagues have mentioned that they did enjoy the speed Spanish. It is a popular course, not only with community members, but with some of my colleagues. And then you could actually sort, once you see the course listings here, you can sort, I'm in this navy blue banner here, you can sort by the name here, or you can sort by relevance, what have you. And again, a lot of this just involves people playing around with some of these features and learning how to find everything. I'm going way here to the right side here. I'm still in the navy blue banner, but you can switch to list view here. I'm kind of gives a brief overview of some of these if you just want to see the titles here, or you can go back and click here and go back to what is it, full view here, and that gives you more information. I'm going to just go ahead and stick with full view. And so with full view, you can see some course details such as this brief, we'll focus on the speed Spanish here in the middle. But it'll just give you brief information. You can access these courses 24 hours a day. You can see the different start dates. And then finally, enroll now will register you for the course. So we're going to go ahead and I'm not quite ready to enroll. So we're going to go ahead and click on learn more to get more information about this course. So we'll see for the speed Spanish, we'll see even more information about the course. You'll see the course description here in this first tab under detail here. You'll see information about the instructor. You can access the syllabus for a course overview and what's covered week to week. Here you go. You can click on requirements, and that's just what is required in terms of hardware or software or any prerequisites they suggest before you take this course. And then finally, if you click on student reviews, you can see exactly that, student reviews by people who have previously taken the course. On the left-hand side here of the screen here, I have it highlighted here just at the moment. You can see any related products or any additional courses that might be, that you might be interested in, or any previous courses within that series. I'm going to go ahead and click, I'm at the very top left of the screen here. I'm going to click on the home. I did want to talk about the help option here. I'm in the very top of the screen near the top center of the page here. And that's where you would just get any information on just the mechanics of Gale Courses, or if you wanted to email their student support department if you needed any help. Slightly further down the screen, if you click on View Catalog, you can see the entire catalog of courses. And again, you can arrange it, you can sort it by or alphabetically or by relevance if you'd like. In the middle of the screen here, you could search for any specific courses. So you can type in resumes, cover letters, Excel, what have you. You can enter in, I think, a keyword or a topic or a term to find those courses. And so then you can enroll in a course for the first time. So for the Speed Spanish, I'm going to go ahead. I've decided I want to enroll in it. So I'm going to click on Enroll Now. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to catch up. So I'm going to pick on April 14th. I'm not going to pick May 12th because I don't think it's going to let me in at the moment. So we're going to stick with this April 14th date, but you do have some options here. So we're going to go ahead and select Continue Enrollment. And so if you are new to Gale Courses, where it says new students start here, this is where you would fill out that information and type in your email address here, and then all the required information, the required fields that they asked for. I do have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and just sign in. I'm on the right side here. Oops. Passwords is a different story. And then it's going to confirm some information here. We're going to go ahead and hit Continue Enrollment. And then it's going to ask me for my library card information. And then, yes, I'm going to confirm. I'm going to go ahead and enter my classroom. At the very, I want to return to the top of the page here. There's My Classroom. If you click on My Classroom up here, it will show all of your currently enrolled courses, any previous courses, any upcoming course information. So we'll go ahead and we're going to go back to Speed Spanish, and I want to go ahead and start my orientation. I'm going to click on orientation just to get overall information. Just talks about how you can move through the course and the how-tos of the course, things like that. Usually the orientation information is the same for most courses. I don't know if you found the same thing, Susan, but for me, it's the same. It just goes through how to get started, descriptions, course mechanics, things like that, the syllabus, course information. I did want to go back. I'm going to go back to my classroom here. If you click on report here, we're still under under any of them here. You can get to your student report and you can see what you got on quizzes every week. And it's just kind of like a condensed report of your progress throughout the course. So then once you enter your main course, let's go ahead and enter, which one did I start? I started Mastering Public. I'm going to go ahead and enter my Mastering Public speaking class. Oh, is it going to let me in? I have a pop-up, of course. There we go. See, this is why I have Susan on standby, because of this happened. I've been doing this all day long, and that was the first time I encountered that. So you have your main course here, and the course structure, like I said, is set up like a learning path, and it's just broken up by lessons, starting with getting started. At the beginning here, and then sometimes, well, usually there is a pretest, and the pretest is just an assessment to see just kind of where you are, and it's more for you than anything. So I wouldn't even think too much about it. To be quite honest, for me, sometimes I've completely not done very well on some of the pretests. So sometimes I don't know all the answers, and that's perfectly fine. And hopefully the goal is you'll be able to answer those same questions confidently once you complete the course. So you would start at the beginning here where it says getting started. And of course, there are multiple ways to move throughout a course each week. You can start at one lesson, and then you would click at the bottom right of each page, which I'll show you in a minute here. Or you could go back depending on where you were on the course, and then you can directly click on where you were on the learning path, however you would like to do it. Sometimes they are locked because it is too early in the course. As you recall, most of these courses are 6 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on, let's see here. I'll click on lesson 2 because I finished up lesson 1. See how you can, well, let me start on get started. So basically these are your course overview, your syllabus, and then you would click here next up. That's how I navigate. I took this course before, and that's why I got 100%. So once again, don't worry about the pretest. I've done this a lot, but you can scroll down. Let's go back here. Let's click on lesson 1. You can do it. And again, you could click however you want to navigate. But I have to admit, sometimes I'm a little bit linear when it comes to Gale Courses. So I like clicking the next step. You do take a quiz. See, I already took it and I missed one already, but that's pretty much how it works. Once you're inside a lesson, there's different chapters. And then once you get through the content of that page, you would click next here like I showed you. And then whenever you've completed a lesson, the box will be green here. Let me go back to my Mastering Publics. So you'll see here, I've completed the pretest. I've completed lesson 1. You can do it. So yeah, that's pretty much, let me see if I'm missing anything else. Like I said, go ahead.
I appreciate that there's also a discussion section.
Yes.
So at the end of each lesson, if you have questions or you have confusion over anything that's covered, you can actually reach out to your instructor or a TA for the course and ask those questions in that discussion section.
Yeah, and there's the discussion area. And I previously took it, so I don't have one there yet. So I am a good student. I just don't have one there yet because I've taken it before. And then after a lesson, you will have a quiz to assess your learning. It is kind of like a course after all, but again, I wouldn't think too much of it. It's more for your learning and for your benefit area. And like Susan mentioned, there's the discussion area or forums for students to, discuss their thoughts and the overall lesson. Sometimes there's a suggested activity or topic to discuss, and sometimes it's just your thoughts about that particular topic. And it's just simply a place to, just have a productive and positive dialogue and just exchange between instructors and students. So yes, thank you, Susan, for mentioning that. So that's all I have for Gale Courses. I think to pass the final course is like 65% or something. So again, I wouldn't focus so much on the final score. I just would focus on learning and how it could benefit for you. And even if you don't pass, and maybe I shouldn't say this, you could easily retake the course. There's been times that many community members have gone back in just to see how they did, and they won't be penalized in any way.
And did you mention that in some cases you can actually get credit, like continuing education credit?
Yes. You can definitely get certain credits for it, and I mean, there's all types of possibilities with Gale courses. Okay, any questions about Gale courses? All right, I'm going to just go ahead and go back.
Yep, no questions so far.
I'm going to go back to our e-library. We're going to focus on Job Now, and I'm just going to retrace my steps just so everyone can see what I'm doing. We're going to go to Online Tools. Again, a number of ways to get to all these resources. And I should have mentioned before, for Online Tools, everything is listed here in alphabetical order. These filtering pages are just there to help you get there sooner than later. So we'll go to Career, and now we're going to go to Job Now. So we're going to use Job Now. And this is the resource that can help with anything from career assessments to, the resume, has a resume and cover letter resources and live job coaching. And again, one of the biggest takeaways for a lot of people is that this resource does allow you to upload a resume to their resume lab, a resume or cover letter, where you can get expert review and feedback. So I'll be sure to show you that too. Once you're in and reach Job Now's homepage, I do recommend that you create or sign into your account just to maximize your experience and just to easily connect with Job Now's content and their resources, which of course is no charge to anyone else. Sometimes people ask us that question with Job Now. So we'll do this by just clicking on Login, which is located at the top right of the homepage. Let's see here. We're going to click Login. So I'm at the very top right of the page, and Login's in the blue here. At the bottom, if you don't have an account, you would sign up right here. I do have an account, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in a moment. But I'm going to suggest before you do create an account, it is optional to add an email address when you sign up for Job Now. But I really recommend that you do add that email address in case you have any access issues, such as recovering a password. Because there is a way to recover it, but it involves going through Job Now and talking to them. And they're very wonderful people, but it'll be more time consuming. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. So we'll just jump right in. So like I said, on the homepage here, you can see Job Now is presented in 3 different sections here. You have resume, job interviews, and career. And I'll be sure to cover each item in each of these sections here. And once again, just like the other resources, you do have a couple of options when accessing information on Job Now. You can use the drop-down menus here at the top, but it'll get you the same information as accessing the ones here, the columns here in the middle. So I'm going to focus on those for now. So for the first column under resume, we're going to talk about the links here. In this section, you'll see the 5 links here. So the first link will connect you the live resume expert here. I think I could highlight it. There we go. These experts are just available every day from 2 p.m. until 11 p.m. Central Time, and you can ask these experts any resume related questions during a live chat session. The second link will provide resume templates such as when you are crafting or revising your resume. The third link, resume resources, includes even more templates and even more resources, such as links to different resources, such as federal government resources like Career One Stop, which is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Labor. And this website in particular, the Career One Stop, does offer really great resume and cover letter guides, which we do recommend to a lot of community members here, but it walks a lot of people through the steps of writing a resume and provides even more resume templates. The fourth link will connect you to that resume lab that I discussed, and that's where you can upload your resume. We're going to go ahead and click on that one here. You can upload a file here from your computer, and that's when they'll send you feedback. And usually, if you did include an email address, you usually get a notification in your email when they do send you that feedback here. And then finally, Optimal Resume, again, offers more resume templates, and it gives you an opportunity to create your own resume. And it's just their version of a resume builder where you can add in your information and adjust it, and then export your content to, I think, a Word document or a PDF file. And then we have the second column here. We're moving on to job interviews. And so the first link is live interview coach. And again, it's just like the other live resume expert. It's an expert you can talk to through their live chat features and ask them all type of interview related questions. The link underneath that, interview tips, provides suggestions during every step of the interview process, from when you're preparing and practicing before the interview to following up after the interview. And then the third link is online resources, and that just, again, helps you further prepare for your interview, including more interview tips and even potential and practice interview questions. And then moving to the third column here, the career column. So the first link is live job coach. Again, it's live assistance. And a lot of the time, even if you find a way to connect with their live job coaches or with resume or the interview coach, that they'll help you either way, even if you overlap in topics. The second link is unemployment assistance, and this is relatively new to Job Now. And this link will connect you with another live job coach who will help you with accessing and understanding unemployment benefits, and then also has a great online resource option that provides a link to another item called Skill Surfer, which I'll talk about in a little bit here. The third link is career assessments, which will connect you with exactly that. So career self-assessments, aptitude tests, helps with career planning tools, perhaps if you're just starting out your job search or if you're changing careers. And then the fourth link, job resources, will help you with your job search when it comes to either local opportunities or if you want to expand your search to nationwide postings. And then Skill Surfer, like I mentioned earlier, it just has links to just kind of a library of lessons that have practice tests on a variety of topics, such as Microsoft Word or Excel, or industry specific certification exam help, like say if you are going into nursing, something like that. And then finally, you have eParachute, and that offers college major and career assessments, as well as more specific question and answer style sessions for any of your job related questions. So yeah, this is basically Job Now. Whether you're searching for jobs or just trying to professionally polish your resume, Job Now might be a great resource to explore, especially if you're trying to establish yourself or expand yourself professionally. So if you have any questions, you can type them here in the chat about Job Now, or of course we can work with you one-on-one. I know I'm throwing a lot of information out at you right now, but these are really great resources. So I'm hoping you can at least explore. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to any questions about Job Now. I'm sorry.
I actually have a question about Job Now, Jordan.
Sure.
Where it says search job and location up at the top, are they actually pulling jobs from different companies that are putting that information through Job Now?
I think so. I think it might be based off Indeed or another job employment search engine, to be honest.
Okay.
Oop, I don't know why that search came in there, but anyway, yes. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. Oh, you're welcome. So now I'm gonna go back to the home page, and this time I'm gonna go ahead. I'm still on the online tools page, and I'm still filtered here with career. We are going to click on LinkedIn Learning. So we have LinkedIn Learning, and LinkedIn Learning has those videos or courses that cover a variety of subjects. They focus on computer basics, skill enhancement tools, and in career services, they have really great courses or videos on, resumes and just overall professional development courses. What I also like about LinkedIn Learning is they don't just present the courses, but they have really great supplemental material, such as examples and templates with each course. So we'll go ahead and get started. And like we said, there's a variety of ways to get to this resource. The best ways, I think, to go through the online tools. So we're going to go ahead, and If I'm already on LinkedIn, so I'm going to go ahead and hit sign in. But if you are new to LinkedIn, you would hit get started here. At some point, it's going to ask you for your library card number or that virtual library card number. If you have any issues, I'll just say, just give us a call. Then we could easily walk you through it with any of these online resources, I should mention. But I already have an account, so I'm going to click on sign in. I'm going to type in my email address. I'm going to type in my password, and then it's going to ask me for my library card number. Oop. I had typed in my password, but okay.
That's happened to me too, where I've had to
Yeah.
enter the password twice.
All right, perfect. So once you sign in, this is what the homepage would look like. Here is where I can see the courses I'm currently in. Oops, I didn't want to quite click on that just yet. We're still on the homepage here. These are the courses I have in progress that I'm taking right now. I'm here in the center of the screen. You could set goals here. So you can basically set goals like when you are trying to, for how much you want to take LinkedIn, I guess, during a week. And it just involves the amount of time you want to try to use LinkedIn Learning a week. I usually strive for 30 minutes a week, but I think you can choose here from 15, 30, 60, or 120 minutes. And then down below here are just suggested courses based off of, my history, any trending courses, or any other recommendations, things like that. I am going to start here at the very top, the top menu, the top of the website here on the home page, where you can see different menus. Starting with browse at the top left here. So you can browse for videos by any category or subject or software. Let me click on it. Or learning path. We will talk about learning paths in just a bit here. Going back, you could search for a topic. And then if you want, you could search, you can filter, when it comes to, here, let me go ahead and type in something like resumes. So you can search for a topic and then you can filter here on the left-hand side. A lot of our resource has filtering here on the left-hand side. Maybe that's just, I don't know what that's based off of, but you can filter by whether you want a course or videos or audio, things like that. And I'll talk about what those all mean in just a moment here. Going back to the home page here, home will just take you to the home page. Let's see, my learning will just keep track of everything that I've been doing. So this is all my, I don't know if I'm going to click on it right now, but my history, my current progress, what I'm doing that involves anything that I've been doing on LinkedIn Learning. Notifications will just tell me about it will notify me of any trending courses or any courses that I might be interested in, again, based off my history on LinkedIn Learning. I do find it very helpful. Or if there's an addition to a series that I previously watched, sometimes they'll notify me here. And then me is just how I can get into my settings, things like that. And then you have, I think, the Help Center option under me as well. And then this is if you want to change the language. I'm going to keep it at English for now. So we're going to go back and search for content here. I'm going to go back and search for resumes like I did before. And like I said, here on the left-hand side, this is where you can filter your results. Right now, we're just going to discuss the option to filter with just courses, videos, and learning paths. For the audio option, audio is exactly that. It doesn't provide video. It's more of a podcast or a listening session. So for videos, courses, and learning paths, so with LinkedIn Learning, you can have a video that lasts 2 to 10 minutes. And then that video can start on something like starting a resume or resume basics or something like that. Then you can have a course, which might include several videos or a series of videos on a topic by a presenter. So that course might be on the resume process, from starting a resume to submitting your resume. And then you have a learning path, which provides several courses focused around a larger topic, such as job searching. So that could include courses on writing a resume, cover letters, work culture, things like that. Is that would you describe that? Isn't that the best way to describe?
Absolutely. That's exactly how I would describe it.
So that's pretty much that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on this series here. It's the second entry here, Writing a Resume by Stacy Gordon, because I've taken it. I recommend it. I love this course. I'm going to push play to start it. I want to push pause. I know she's going to start talking. So yeah, so you have your, I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. You have your course overview, which I'm here in the middle of the screen here, which mentions the name of the instructor, any course details, learning objectives, any certification information. Let me scroll down. These are the, I'm trying to see what happened here. All right, there we go. I thought I saw black on my screen. And then you have a notebook if I want to write anything. Oh, I should tell you, this exercise files, this is where the templates are going to be. So say if you take a resume course, you click on here, it'll give you all types of resume examples and templates, cover letter examples, things like that. Clicking on notebook is just notes you could write to yourself for this specific course. And then moving to transcript here, you could basically, it's a transcript of the video, and I believe the actual text is highlighted as people speak. So there's your transcript. So under the video itself, you can control the video settings. I'm going to scroll up. I'm directly below the image here, directly below the video, starting in the left-hand side here. This is where you can hit play, of course. You can skip back 10 seconds. You can go fast forward 10 seconds. I'm constantly doing this because I'm taking courses at work sometimes, and I have to pause for different things. You can slow down or speed up the speech. You can add closed captioning if you'd like. You can make it full screen. So all types of options here. You can actually explore the video contents here on the left side of the video here. And you don't even have to go in the exact order of the course. You can kind of click around however you want. Sometimes there's a specific clip I'm looking for that I want to send to somebody, so I might pick one of those. And then you can even collapse or expand that menu here. And then finally, I have the option of adding this course to my learning. And that's how I usually get to it, either from the home page or through my learning page. So, and you can also delete it too. So that's all I have for LinkedIn Learning. Any questions on that one?
Yeah, the My Learning section allows you to create basically a playlist.
Yes.
Too. So you could gather a bunch of different videos on a specific topic and put together your own course if you really wanted to.
So I have one here.
Do a playlist.
I've named my playlist here. I've called one Professional Development. I've called one Career Services. And I have one on just LinkedIn. But yeah, these are the ones I've named myself. So you can name them whatever you'd like. All right, so we're going to go ahead and focus on our last resource. It's going to be directly below LinkedIn Learning on the online tools page. And it's going to be Peterson's Test Prep. So let me go ahead and click on that. Then any questions on LinkedIn Learning? I'm sorry, I don't think I saw anything. Okay, so this is Peterson's Test Prep, and like I mentioned before, it has their practice test portion has a variety of exams like the ACT, the SAT, the GRE, and U.S. citizenship tests. Like I said, I utilized this resource when I finished up nursing school, and I had to prepare for the NCLEX, if you're familiar with that, and I took a lot of practice tests using this resource. So yeah, and just like the Job Now resource, this one also has great career development tools, career assessments, interview assistance, and we'll just jump right in and just to show you where some of these are at. So this is what their landing page looks like here. And you can, again, access the same content in a variety of ways. You can search right here at the very top. I'm going to stop. Should have cleared my searches here. You can enter in a topic or subject that you're looking for, or you can use these kind of colored tiles here in the middle of the screen. So in order to save time, I'm not going to click on every area, but I will just make a mention of it. We're going to focus on the career or job-related resource just for the sake of this webinar. So for the first tile here in orange, involves the improve your score, and it just connects you with some of those standardized tests that I mentioned. And it's broken down into subcategories such as high school, college and grad school prep. It has an international section that includes those U.S. citizenship tests that I mentioned. They also have a foundational directory that connects you with content related to basic math, writing, reading, things like that, which they don't just have practice tests, but it has reading materials and videos as well. And then this area also includes Microsoft product tutorials. So if you need to learn or refresh any of those skills, you can go ahead and use improve your score and just click on that. So you'll see the different options there, the categories I had just mentioned. So then you have find a school here in the yellow, which helps you find colleges and universities, and includes, filtering features too per your preferences. It also includes a scholarship search for college or grad school. They also have a college planning area that serves as a guide when you are preparing for college, and just overall career planning as well. And sometimes we have the books here at the library, of course, that circulate you can take home. But if you want to look at it online, you do have this option. I'm going to briefly skip the green tile because I'm going to go back to that in just a moment. But then you have the vocational test prep area here in the blue tile, this fourth one, and it focuses on vocational prep that includes, help with practice, practice exams, or preparation for certifications, or like certain credentials, licensing for certain vocations such as nursing, law enforcement, postal work, teaching, things like that. And so before I go to explore career, that green tile, I am going to scroll down for just a little bit and point out this is where you would register or log into your account, which is directly below the tiles. I'm going to go ahead and log in.
When you log in, it'll actually keep track of your progress, correct?
Yes, you'll see, I have a lot going on in my account, but yes, for me,
Great.
it does. And tonight has been a true testament on remembering the passwords. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. So we're gonna go ahead and click on this green tile here, explore careers. And it just includes overall just professional and workforce development information, so whether you're considering a career change or enhancing any skills, this might be an area to check out. It also has really great resume help and personalized assessments that also provide suggestions based off of those assessments. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and click on it like I did, and then we're going to click on career tools. So I'm going to click on learn more. And then you'll see these 4 different categories here. So the first one, find a career, includes those career assessments and just overall information as you are figuring out your career path. There is career advice that links to the virtual career library, and that offers tutorials that focus, again, like I said, on career changes, to resume help, to job searches. I'm going to skip create a resume for now because I'm going to go back to that. But then we have career colleges search, which is just another way to get to that college search that we discussed earlier. So again, it's sometimes the same resource, but just a different amount of ways to get there. So we're going to go back to create a resume, and this is where you can create a resume, a cover letter, or a website. And a website would be a website dedicated to whatever professional information that you want to share. If you want to have a chance to be more creative, and it would be presented. Let me go ahead and click on that right now. I'm going to hit select. So it would be presented by this visual CV software. I'm going to go ahead and create a resume slash CV here. And as you can see, as Susan mentioned, does it save your work? Yes, it does, because look, this is all of mine I've done in the past here. So I'm going to click here in the center of the screen, this plus sign for create a CV or resume. And we're going to start from scratch. Then you can choose a template here. I'm going to pick this ATS version. So again, the nice thing about this is it helps you just with formatting. So you can type your information here, fill it out. Sometimes if you use the template that they suggested, sometimes it will help you with industry wording, things like that. But yeah, you would just fill out your information here. You can preview it. I've only typed it. Only lets you look at preview of what you've typed in, but you can see the preview here. And then finally, when you're ready, you can download it to PDF or Word. But yeah, it's just basically an easier way to, if you're in a hurry, fill this out and kind of just focus on yourself and your experiences instead of the formatting piece of a resume, which I know sometimes can be challenging. And then I wanted to go back and talk about the career journal here. It's very new. They just added it, hence the word beta that it has here. But like I said, you can enter and track any career or professional progress or any accomplishments. So you could just when you need to overall reflect, when you are working towards your goals or when a certain opportunity comes up, you can review this information here, and you can add anything related to any new skills that you've learned, responsibilities, things like that. And as I said earlier, we always encourage people to keep records of their professional histories, and this could just possibly help. So I've briefly started it just to give just to give you an example here where I can review all of those highlights. So that is Peterson's test prep. Any questions about that? All right, I'm going to go back to screen sharing. Can you see my slides? Okay, here we go. So yeah, any overall questions? That's pretty much, here's my contact information in the meantime. All right. Let's see if we have any questions. Nope, thank you. Susan has shared my email address. So yeah, if you have any further questions, just send me an email, give me a call. If you need any help, any one-on-one help with your resume or cover letters, like I always tell people, we don't have to jump right into it. We can have some introductory conversations just to get to know each other and just figure out what your professional pursuits are, and we can just talk about it. Our next webinar will be—
Jordan, do you want to go ahead
yes.
and re-enable your video?
Yes. Give me just a minute here. Here I am.
Thank you.
Okay. So our next career webinar will be Wednesday, May 5th at 2 p.m. We are changing it up. So tonight was the last Tuesday night for a while. Thanks again to my host for helping me out tonight. But the next one, it's with Kevin Martledge, who is a local career coach. We've hosted him here before, and he presents really great content, and he's just helping. We're starting a whole new series in May. I should specify that. So he's helping us get started with our whole career plan for the summer. And then here are the other ones we have coming up for May. We are starting kind of a new sub-series, Ask an Employer. We're going to be hosting Stacy Rachel from the city of Champaign, where they'll talk about kind of their insights as an HR representative. And we are encouraging people to bring their questions. If you have any questions about, when you submit your resume or for the interview or anything like that. So Stacy will be there to help. And that's all I have. We've got 2 minutes. If you have any questions, you can, of course, email us at librarian@champaign.org. You could chat with us just by visiting the homepage of our website during our open hours. And Susan, do you have anything else to add? Do you want to talk tech for a moment?
Sure. I mean, we have tech workshops every Tuesday at 2 o'clock on various topics, and you're of course welcome to attend those too. Same way that you got to tonight's webinar, you can go to champaign.org/events and then take a look at all of the wonderful programming we have here at the library. Lots of very cool events going on.
Wonderful. Well, I don't see any further questions. Thank you all for joining us. And I think, Susan, we're going to end right at 8 o'clock, I think.
All right. Yeah. And again, reach out. We're happy to help. We love questions. We wouldn't be in this profession if we didn't like questions. So
yes. And we're learning ourselves too. So it helps us too. So
yeah. All right. Well, I think we'll go ahead and end the webinar then. Thank you everyone for attending, and we'll see you next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.